Hey everyone, so things are happening just as we anticipated. So what now? Well, before I get into that, I want to first talk about where we currently stand in this space as a community. We currently have two truths happening really at the same time. And the first truth is we have the bearish side that some people in this space, well, I can't say some people, a huge majority of the people in this space believe that we're still in a 4-year cycle due to the correction that started in October, and we've done nothing but correct. Then we have the bullish side that are currently calling this the mid-cycle pause, which have also anticipated this correction. So both sides have anticipated to see this correction come into fruition. And the difference obviously is where we bottom. Now, because we have this, you guys already know where I personally stand within these two truths that we currently see. I personally believe that we are in a mid-cycle pause. Now, there is currently a time where we're going to be literally facing a crossroads between these two truths of pretty much indicating who is right at the end of the day. And that crossroads, it's pretty much either lying where we stand now, or which leads me into talking about where I see the other possibility of what can happen to Bitcoin in the short term. So let's dive into that. Bitcoin is infamous for having 4 lower lows. And as you can see here in front of us, we have 3. So it is a great possibility that we can see a relief rally currently where we stand now and sweep for that 4th lower low. It's not a certain thing. I'm not saying it's 100% certain. This is just going based on a pattern from literally in the entire existence of Bitcoin. It's been that pattern, which is why I have to put it on the table to see whether or not it's going to be executed. So if it were to be executed, that would put us, in my perspective, at most, the range would be between 48,000 to 54. The reason why I have 48 is because when I was doing these lower low measurements, the band was pretty much down here. And so as you can see, because it's a moving average, with time, it moves up. And so it depends if this is a relief rally and we go for that 4th low. It's going to be dependent on when we do that with time to see where exactly this band lies. The priority for the 4th lower low, for me at least, is this band because if we look back, obviously this is different because this was actually a bear market. You can see that during a bull market, we just bounce off and we continue higher, which is what I'm anticipating if we do have that 4th low. Like I said, it's an if, it's not a for certain. So that's literally the one option we have. The second option is obviously that we have already bottomed, and which was already, if you look back, it's my original plan. What I was originally anticipating is that we bottom here and then we push up. Currently where we stand now, we have a statistical measurement divergence indicating we have bottomed, but we can also, with time, during that relief rally, if we top with that relief rally, we can also have that statistical measurement divergence to indicate that we're having that 4th low. But as of right now, it's showing we have bottomed, which is why we're experiencing these green candles. So like I said, option 1, we sweep that 4th lower low because of historical pattern. Option 2 is majority of the people are expecting that 4th lower low within the bull space, which is why I'm 50-50, because we all know that if a lot of people are anticipating, it's less likely to happen. So I'm kind of tugging between both aspects here. For that reason, I am totally fine if it does go for that 4th low if we just bottom here. But statistical divergence measurement shows we have bottomed currently where we stand now. And so for right now, at least in the short term, we should start experiencing green until the other divergence to the downside pops up. So that's currently what I have for Bitcoin. And I know it's not financial advice. I just know that there's a lot of people, at least on YouTube, talking about having at least a 70% correction because they're doing a copy and paste from like 2021 correction. And that's because they also anticipate we're in a bear market. And so I want to say be very careful with who you're listening to, because we're currently facing once in a lifetime an opportunity, especially in alts. But once again, it's not financial advice. It's just for educational purposes. And within that argument, within the bear market, as you guys already, I've already mentioned it in previous videos, but I'm going to do it again. Bitcoin has never topped or finished a cycle within this range, within this green range. It's always been within this red range. I'm not going to go into complete depth, because if you want to learn more about that, you could go back to I don't have that many videos. It's going to be easy to find. So it's one of the two. One of the three after this. And so for that reason, that in itself is indicating that we have not topped. Aside from my calculations, we don't even have to go into that. I'm just currently going based on Bitcoin dominance. And my argument with people that want to do copy and paste in past cycles is if you're going to do copy and paste of past cycles, then you have to just not look at one variable. You have to look, especially for most people that want to argue that Bitcoin dominance is everything, you have to pay attention to that chart and do copy and paste there as well, if that's what you're strategizing and using as your forefront. And if you do that, you will know that that assessment that you're making, that the cycle has topped and we're in a bear market, kind of cancels out once you look at this chart. As you can see, things are pretty much weighing very bearish within the dominance. So the only argument I can actually entertain and say, yeah, I can see that. That can be a possibility. Do I believe it? It's not, I don't believe it, but it can be a possibility, is the argument of we topped with Bitcoin and now it's going to be an altcoin show, which is what's going to drive Bitcoin dominance all the way down while Bitcoin corrects. I can see that just because, like I said, this is bearish. Now, am I anticipating that? Absolutely not. And that's because of my calculations that I do years prior. And it's literally highlighting that we are in a midlife crisis. That's not what I mean. A mid-cycle pause. And we're going to continue higher. And we have not yet even hit the threshold of 2019 cycle, let alone 2022. So for that sense, it's obviously, in my opinion, not going to happen. I don't believe that's going to happen for that reason. But can I entertain that argument more than I can entertain the Bitcoin's topped and we didn't experience an all season? Yes, more than that argument, of course. And it's for this reason, because dominance is completely bearish and it's indicating that we will be anticipating an alt season. And it's not financial advice, but if you are sitting on the sideline, please don't do the mistake of getting greedy and wanting lower prices or believing that we're in a bear market, because we're not. And I know you don't know me, you virtually probably see my stuff, but I can tell you that this is coming from a person that has successfully called tops and bottoms in the past. And majority, if you just look at success win rates in the past from all majority of YouTube people, I can tell you for certain, and I'm not going to mention names, but some people have millions of subscribers, and they have not once successfully called a bottom or a top within the markets. And so it's something to put out there. I don't want to sound arrogant. I can be wrong, but the likelihood of me being wrong right now is very low. The likelihood of me calling the exact top again, then I can say, yeah, I could definitely be wrong in that sense. But we're not there yet, given the fact that we're in a mid-cycle pause right now. And so I want to tell you, it's not financial advice, but if I'm talking to myself right now, and if I'm giving myself words of advice for myself, I would tell myself that I need to prioritize and lock in on dollar costing average at most, as I possibly can this year, because I know that Bitcoin's heading to a new all-time high, and alts are going to be the front runner of the show once we do that. So the shift, and this is not opinion, like we're just look at this chart that's in front of us. This is already indicating that the momentum has shifted. And yes, we're currently, this is the thing, is that you can't see one thing and say that's the truth, because alts are currently bleeding and are at the most lows that they can't possibly be. They're completely depressed. But because of that reason, majority of people think that they're just dead. But if you look at this variable, it's telling you otherwise, in the sense that alts have actually gone out of the depression side, right? And it's in the neutral, which is where it starts going towards its euphoria, where we have to sell. And so this is indicating that with time, sooner than later, alts are going to be the front runners, and everyone's going to start talking about alts, and this is the greatest alt that you need to 100x your money with. But like, the time is now. I'm not saying you're going to 100x your money, but, and again, it's educational purposes here. Right now, you will safely 10x your money in majority of alts because of where they stand now. And it's because they're completely there's a divergence in the sense of they're at their lowest low, but the dominance is telling you that it's barely shifting. And so if this is telling you it's on its way up, price wise, but price is actually telling you it's at a floor price, there's a divergence there. And so given that there's a divergence there, it's going to have to meet, right, to where it's going to weigh this, because obviously we all know the dominance of Bitcoin weighs the entire market. So it's something to consider. And I personally believe that we are going to be experiencing a beautiful year once we finish this correction. And if we've finished this correction, I just want to make sure, if we bottomed here, like I said, I do have a statistical mathematical divergence currently that stands that shows that we have bottomed. And so if we have bottomed, I'm not expecting us to just skyrocket. This entire cycle has been very choppy, so I do expect us to chop away until we go into breaking into new all-time highs. So I don't want everyone to think that they have to get anxiety to pour all their money into the cycle, into the market right now. It's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that, and once again, it's not financial advice, but if I'm considering putting money in with time because of how slow things have been moving, I'm prioritizing this entire year to pour more money into the market, just because where I see it going, especially within alts. So it's a beautiful thing to be experiencing it. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity where we stand now, and the people that are sidelined or calling this a bear market are the ones that are going to be caught with their pants down. And I don't want that for any of my viewers here, because it's going to be, we haven't even experienced the most beautiful part of this bull cycle yet. And there's that, like I said earlier, people think that we had a full blown bull cycle and we didn't have an alt season, but I've already spoke about this, but alt seasons don't happen until we break the pre-distribution phase. And to put a visual explanation of what I mean by that, let's just pick up I'm just picking a random cycle here. And I know this obviously because I've studied it so much. So just to give a visual explanation of what I mean, this entire run for the market was a Bitcoin dominant run. And it wasn't until alts, and I went into depth about this, I'm just summarizing it. It's not until alts break this level, this trend line, this last leg up, that they go full blown euphoric. And to put things into perspective, we're pretty much in this phase here. So the moment we break up, it's when we're going to experience that full blown experience within alts, just so I could put things into perspective for you. So for people that think that, this is why it's funny to me, because we're here and people think we've talked and are saying that we haven't had an alt cycle. But if you just look back, you would notice that alt cycles don't happen until we break out of this phase. And I guess I have to be less harsh, just because a lot of people don't do mathematical calculations when it comes to charting. And so I guess I can have to give them some grace in that aspect, but just know that we haven't been able to have an alt season because we haven't reached this point of the cycle yet. And so it's what's happening is normal. It's not an outlier. It's not an anomaly, nothing like, it's not manipulation. It's not whatever they want to paint it is. It's just, it's never happened in the entire history of Bitcoin in itself. And so it's just literally how it always happens. And we haven't just, because we haven't had this part of the cycle yet, is because is the reason why we haven't seen it all season. So just want to make sure everyone knows and comprehends that, because I know there's a lot of doomsayers out there, and it's really affecting people now. So to summarize this quickly, as you guys already know, short term, what I see, 180 to 197 is my 2019 top. So I just want to clarify that. This is going to be a no-brainer to touch. We're headed there. Once we bottom here, whether we do a fourth low or we've already bottomed here, we're going to gradually move up to this area. Now, this 244 area is what I currently have highlighted as you can see, I'll say like the cycle top, right? Because this is 2019 and this is a calculations for 2022. So we're having two overlapping cycles right now. And so this is 2019, this is 2022. Now, because we're having an overlapping cycle, I changed my measurements for 2022. I didn't do it normally how I usually do it, just because we're having two cycles. So I want to be extra conservative. However, now, if I don't know if I have it highlighted here, but if I were to do the exact measurements as I did in previous cycles, that would highlight us that the cycle top, the absolute cycle top threshold for this cycle would be 481. I can't get it, but I'll just put 480. And that's just by covering the absolute calculations that I've done previously to catch previous tops. And so I don't want to say for certain we're going to go there yet. I want to see where Bitcoin dominance is as we progress. That's going to be my front runner in the sense of how high we're going to go. And I wouldn't be as, as hesitant when it comes to the top measurements if we didn't have two ongoing cycles. But because we do, I have to be very conservative and just gather the entire average rather than how I usually do it. So just want to put that out there just to give into perspective of the possibility for Bitcoin. And so even if we were to go to this area, that should indicate the possibility of how much you can or how much people can expect in return for altcoins. So just want to throw that out there. And yeah, so that's what I have for you now. And I hope everyone is taking the time to take advantage of this opportunity. Once again, it's not financial advice, but I can't stress this enough. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity that you are going to have for you and your family. So even if it's just what you would spend at a bar, just dollar, you just use that. Like, just, I can't go into details because it's not financial advice, but you get what I'm saying. But okay. I love everyone, and I hope everyone has a beautiful week. That's what I have, and we'll see how this goes. All right. Bye, everyone.